I just saw the shittiest Dark Souls take I've ever fucking seen. Dark Souls 2 is garbage, and its lore isn't canon. Wow. Okay, leaving aside moment-to-moment gameplay and the annoying enemy placements which aren't actually that bad if you don't play the game like the first one. Dark Souls 2 is actually probably the best in terms of lore out of all three games, by not only building upon the first game, but introducing new things. 3 could have built upon both games, but instead it spent most of its lore's character length sucking the first game's dick, and not introducing any new concepts until the second DLC. Oh wow, this kingdom has the same structure and purpose and belief system as Lordran, a kingdom countless of hundreds of millennia ago. Oh wow, there's a painted world. Literally the same painted world. Wow, you can usurp the flame like Koth from the first game wanted you to. The only dick sucking that worked perfectly was when the Soul of Cinder changed its moveset and became Gwyn, along with the music. Change my mind. You won't. Nothing about Dark Souls 3's lore built on the world and universe as a whole. Instead, just on its immediate kingdom's happenings and some select happenings of one, and not even why people were in that kingdom. Dark Souls 1 introduced the entire universe, of course, and added a lot of good, intriguing information and systems. Dark Souls 2 expanded upon that by introducing people, creating life and beings with literally just the soul and no humanity to be seen, as well as the true cost of being undead, something only touched on in an easily missable quest in the Ring City DLC in 3. And that no one kingdom or deity is important in the unforgiving world that exists in these games. Dark Souls 2 does especially well to push this point home by having a dude who is from a kingdom that only he knows about, because he was petrified for so long that no historical records exist of it. The fire repeatedly fading and being rekindled is so massively unimportant after countless times that Dark Souls 2 doesn't even focus on the kindling part of the fire going out. Focusing on the fire fading after the first game hurts the series as a whole. The worst part about 3's world was that people just existed and didn't really have motivations outside of, oh yeah, I am here. I must get revenge and or kill some guy. In Dark Souls 1, you had Solaire, who forcibly made himself undead to go to Lordran, the kingdom of undead, to search for his meaning in life. You had people sent by their corrupt church to complete a meaningless mission for no other reason than doctrine. Dark Souls 2's main idea is that of cycles, and it focuses mainly on the people who are chasing a goal for so long that they forget the goal that they were chasing. People go to Drang Lake because they had heard there was a cure for the undead curse, yet eventually the realization of there not being a cure becomes apparent. However, they're so deeply invested they refuse to acknowledge this. Alternatively, they have been in Drang Lake for so long they forgot why they were there in the first place, i.e. the player character. I think Dark Souls 3 excels with the state of the world and the lore surrounding the fire, but to me this is wholly uninteresting. Why should I care that I'm a hunk of ash that failed to link the fire when 1, it's no mechanically different than the other two games, and 2, I linked the fire in the end anyways. The Lord of Cinders abandoning their duty to relink the fire because they know it's just going to happen again is neat, but it's not fleshed out enough for me to be invested in it. As Plague of Gripes so eloquently said about Bloodborne, I feel this perfectly fits for Dark Souls 3 as well.
It kinda looks like they only invented Gothic architecture. Well, it's nice to look at, but it feels like it has no substance, you know?
Yes, there seems to be a lack of diversity. And while general behaviors are engaging, they lack depth, fairness, and everyday life is more about witlessly encouraging aggression without understanding it. Also, connecting with others is difficult and is only possible in specific areas, and the people you engage with are two-dimensional. The inherent hubris or driving flaw that made people from our own era parallel the thematic nature of our existence has instead been replaced with convolution of irrelevant history and a world that rightfully should be more about how people deal with the setting rather than why the setting exists in the first place.
That's pretty specific, Marv. Maybe you're just unskilled.
Anyway, I don't hate Dark Souls 3. In fact, it's my favorite in terms of gameplay and has some of my favorite bosses in the series. I just wanted to get this off my chest and out into the open. Tune in next time as I tear apart Indian-Kenyan relations.